Good morning and happy money making Monday. My name is CJ Curry. We're back with another PrizePicks video. We're gonna be taking a look around this PrizePicks board and seeing what type of early value that we could get on before the lines get bumped up, bumped down, or completely taken down from the PrizePicks board. So if you're new here, feel free to subscribe each and every day. I'm trying to put out new content for you, bringing you the best NBA player props that I can find here on PrizePicks and various other sites. I appreciate all the love and support. Speaking of support, let's set today's like goal at 199.5 likes. I'm going for 200 or more, which means I need you to help me hit that like button at least 200 times. Let's see if we can get the job done together. Now, if you're not playing on PrizePicks yet, guys, that 100% instant deposit match is still going down. Meaning if you make your first deposit, if you use code Curry or the special link I've left for you down in the description below, they're gonna match you dollar for dollar, making your first entry on PrizePicks a risk-free entry essentially. It's free money for you to use here on the PrizePicks site. It's daily fantasy sports made easy. Go ahead and jump on PrizePicks if you're not already playing. But for those of you that are playing, here are 3 different options for you. And again, if you can't get these on PrizePicks, let's say they get bumped up, they get bumped down, because let's be honest, the picks that I talk about in these videos usually do get bumped or removed at times. Think about going and jumping on another app like Underdog, Sleeper, or maybe your favorite sports book, okay? Just because you can't find them on PrizePicks doesn't mean you can't find them somewhere else. So that's just something to kind of keep in mind as we get into today's video. All right, so what are the 3 picks? We got Jusuf Nurkic of the Phoenix Suns. He's taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, the Suns are supposed to have Devin Booker back, which means their big 3 of Booker, Durant, and Beal should all be healthy and active. And then, of course, you got Grayson Allen, who's a part of that mix as well. But Jusuf Nurkic versus the Cleveland Cavaliers looks like a pretty strong matchup on paper. Cavs have been giving up a ton of boards lately over the last 7 games to opposing centers. If we go and take a look at that, 17.3 rebounds per game, which is the 5th highest rebound per game average allowed to opposing centers. And so we like that fact that they are giving up so many boards. You know, Evan Mobley's still out for the Cleveland Cavaliers, which means Jarrett Allen is pretty much down there fighting against opposing front courts all by his lonesome. And hopefully Jusuf Nurkic can kind of take advantage of the situation today. But we want to know, is this a plus EV play? In other words, is it a positive expected value play? Yes, in fact it is. If we look at the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer here, Jusuf Nurkic sitting at 13.5 rebounds and assists has about a 54% chance of covering this line, of going over 13.5 rebounds plus assists. Now, 54% is pretty good when you think about the fact that the lines makers who set these player prop lines set them at a 50-50 proposition, right? So we've got a 54% chance on something that should be a 50-50 of it going our way. And in this case, we're thinking about taking the over. So we'll take that little 4% edge and run with it. You could already see that FanDuel's got Jusuf Nurkic up at 14.5 rebounds and assists, meaning their lines makers, who are pretty darn sharp at what they do, feel that Nurkic is going to land on 14 to 15 rebounds plus assists in this matchup against the Cleveland Cavaliers. And so don't be surprised if this gets bumped up to 14 or eventually up to 14.5 on PrizePicks. So definitely a plus EV play. The wind is at our back. We're going against are with the grain instead of against the grain. And so that's what we want to continue to do here on PrizePicks, is capture this early value. So let's take a look at some projections here on Jusuf Nurkic of the Phoenix Suns. The first projection site that I like to reference is RotoWire. RotoWire's just revamped their entire PrizePicks dashboard so you can punch in your favorite player's name for player prop research purposes. And then you click view full breakdown and you can expand this player card here. And when you do that for Jusuf Nurkic, you can see he's projected for 14.14 rebounds and assists. So that's a good projection. That puts him over 13.5. It shows you, like we looked on the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer, there's different sites out there that have him at 13.5, and FanDuel again has him at 14.5. So just a couple of different signs that we should be leaning over or more on Jusuf Nurkic at 13.5 rebounds and assists. And you can see that he's got about a 74% weighted hit rate according to RotoWire as well. So he's been doing a really good job lately of collecting rebounds, dishing out some assists, and so Yusuf Nurkic is looking like a solid option. One more projection for you. For this one, we're going to head over to Fantasy Labs and Action Labs, and they've got Yusuf Nurkic projected for a whopping 16.6 rebounds plus assists, which puts him well over his line of 13.5. So you guys can probably expect a bump for Yusuf Nurkic. He's probably going up to 14 rebounds and assists before long. So I'm going to lean toward the more on Yusuf Nurkic. Now, these are just my findings. Maybe you disagree with them. Maybe you don't like them, but this is what I'm thinking about playing today, all right? So let's look at the second pick. Ayo Dosunmu of the Chicago Bulls taking on the Dallas Mavericks, 13.5 points. He's coming off kind of a bad game. I like going back to players when they're coming off of a bad game. So this could be a good bounce back spot for Dosunmu here going up against Dallas. 13.5 points. Let's go take a look at the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer and see where Dosunmu is at. You can see he's got about a 53.3% chance of clearing his points line of 13.5. which is not a 100% hit rate, right? There's still risk involved. There's still no guarantee that he's actually going to go over 13.5 points. Again, these lines are set at a 50-50, but when you get an edge of about 3 to 4%, like we are with Dosunmu, well, you got to run with it. That's value. Every little bit counts. Every edge, every advantage that you can find goes a long way in this sports betting player prop journey that we're on here. So 13.5 on all different sites. All the juice is coming in on the over for Dosunmu. So we're going to ride with the over as well. Taking a look at some projections. Back over to RotoWire we go. Real easy tool. You just type in the player's name. Scroll down just a little bit. Here you can see FanDuel's already got him up at 14.5. So that's a pretty good sign that maybe we're heading in the right direction by taking the over at just 13.5. You can see he's hit this in about 59% of the games, which is close to about the 60% threshold that I like to look for. 60% or better hit rates is kind of what I aim for when I'm looking for some of these player props, and Dosunmu kind of fits that bill, floating right around 60% at 59%. 15.7 though, that's the projection. That's what we want to see. He's projected for over 2 points higher today than where his points line is at 13.5. And we'll just check and reference one more different projection site, one more different projection model, because every projection model is not the same. So for those of you who are checking projections and using projections to help in your process when researching player props, you should probably check more than one projection site. Using just one projection isn't always the best way to go. If you can check 2 or 3 different projection models, like I said, each one accounts for different factors just a little bit differently than the next. And so the more the merrier, in my opinion. So we're going to check a second one here. He's projected for 15 points going up against Dallas. So again, that's much higher than the line of 13.5, 1.5 points difference. So we like what we're seeing so far on Ayo Dosunmu for the Chicago Bulls. So I'd be leaning more on his points. And then the last one. We've went to this one. We've went to the well on this one plenty of times in the past. It's Kyrie Irving at 4.5 rebounds. He's missed over the last couple of games, but typically he doesn't miss 3 times in a row. We've seen him miss a couple times, and then he usually snaps back, bounces back to 5 or more rebounds. And the Chicago Bulls have done a pretty good job at allowing rebounds to opposing guards. So we take a look at the rebounds that they've allowed over the last 7 games to point guards. 6.3 rebounds per game. But if you don't think Kyrie Irving's the point guard, hey, I ain't mad at it. Let's take a look at the shooting guard spot as well, where they're giving up about 6 rebounds per game over the last 7 games to opposing shooting guards. So, 5 to 6 rebounds per game for point guards and shooting guards. So hopefully they share the ball with Kyrie Irving and allow him to get on the glass a little bit. Once again, we wanted to make sure that this is a plus EV play, and indeed it is. He's got about a 53 to 54% chance of going over 4.5 rebounds. So this is a positive expected value play. You're seeing all the sports books that have him up at 4.5 rebounds. A lot of juice. A lot of juice is loose on the over here for Kyrie Irving to go over 4.5 boards. So again, kind of like Dosunmu, he's kind of slacked off a couple games or a game. We're hoping that he snaps back and jumps back over that 5 rebound number today. And the projections seem to think that he will. So we're going back over here to the player projection tool on RotoWire. We're going to pop open this player card here for Kyrie Irving. You can see that, he's got a 60% hit rate, which again kind of checks that box off. Solid hit rates for this player prop. 5.5 projected rebounds puts him 1 rebound higher than where his line is today at 4.5. And like I said, a lot of action on all these different sports books on the over. So a lot of bettors getting their money down early on Kyrie Irving to clear 4.5 rebounds. So a lot of good signs and signals pointing to the over for Kyrie. Once again, we're checking a second projection for you guys. And then we got Kyrie Irving at 4.9 rebounds. So much closer to 5 rebounds than 4 rebounds. We're hoping for the 5 number, and in a game that has a pretty nice total and is expected to stay close and competitive. I think Kyrie Irving is going to have a real shot at collecting 5 or more boards. So he would be an over option or more option for me on PrizePicks. But those are your 3 picks. Those are the ones I'm playing. You do what you want to do with your money. If you like these, take them. If you don't like them, leave them alone. Let me know what you think, though, down in the comments section. Are you rocking with any of these? Maybe you only like 1 out of the 3. Maybe you like all 3. Let me know what your thoughts, feelings, opinions are, and I'll try to get you a response to any questions, comments, or concerns you have down in the comments section below. I appreciate all the love and support, guys. Get subscribed. Hit that like button on your way out. We'll catch you in the very next video. Good luck on your picks, plays, and parlays today. Until the next time, peace.